page with the Orlando Sentinel and FM 96.9 The Game's Mike the Bulldog Bianchi.
On JRR.
Mike the Bulldog being JRR by Kaufman and Lind Injury Attorneys. Jeff Kaufman will be here next hour with Law and Disorder if you got any legal questions you want to ask. Bulldog, should we start with the non-football stuff before we get to the overreactions and head right over to the F1 desk, or what do you think here?
Yeah, let's go to the F1 desk right now.
It caught me off guard there.
Uh-oh. Scramble mode here, Bulldog.
I am going to tell you, though. Oh, results.
You need some help there?
Nope. You know what? I'm going out on a wing and a prayer, and I'm going to say, man, that was a great race by somebody pastrami.
Oscar Piastri, yes, victorious.
A little Piastri, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
A little crowd on the side.
Meanwhile, a road race at Watkins Glen. None of the drivers in the playoff hunt finished in the top 5, Bulldog.
No, it was Chris Buescher was the spoiler. Yeah, all 5 of the top 5 finishers were not in the playoffs. The playoff drivers were all wrecking each other,
yes, trying
to win. Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. goes, I'm glad I'm out of here after this year if guys are just going to keep driving through each other. So, yeah. Orlando Pride remain unbeaten. They win over the weekend. Orlando City jumps into 5th in the East. They got a 3-0 victory over New England. So they are getting ready for the playoffs. So 2 wins for the soccer teams in the city. Tua will not retire after that concussion he suffered on Thursday night. According to NFL Network, he's going to try to work through it. No big surprise there.
Wait, now we got to talk about Tua for at least a second here. I think Coach Mark Daniels, to you and I, Pat, called it the best. Let's go old school on this. So you got another concussion. I'm sorry. How much? Now, Coach didn't say this part. I'm going to say this part. How much did that guy sign for an S-load? With that said,
yeah, $160 million guaranteed. Yeah.
You know what? If you don't continue to play, you lose all of that. I don't care anything about that. Get out there and play football. I love Tua, but get out there and play football. We're done with the wimpy world.
Okay.
Seriously, dude.
Hey, he signed the contract. I don't know if it had injury protections or not. Whatever the contract says is what it is. So if he can get all his money and not play, then that's up to him. But if there's injury protections in the contract, which I don't know why the Dolphins would have signed him to such a long-term deal without any sort of injury protection. So maybe that's why he is not going to retire. Maybe there's some sort of injury protection in that contract that he won't get all his money if he retires.
You know what I'm saying, though? Go old school and play like the other guys used to.
Sure, yeah, but have brain damage like all those other old school players.
You know what? If I got paid $190, I'd go with the BD.
Brain damage?
Yeah, I kind of already do for nothing.
So, right. What about
coal miners deal with black lung? Yeah. Football players deal with scrambled brains,
and so do boxers and MMA and such.
What about Baker Mayfield? My God, this guy is turning into an elite quarterback right before our very eyes. Did you see the 2 runs he had? He sets up an 11-yard touchdown run yesterday with another 11-yard run where he juked the Detroit Lions defenders, gets near the goal line, then runs it in from 11 yards as the Bucs, unbeaten 2-0, upset the Meatheads in Detroit yesterday, 20-16. I'll tell you what, the Bucs, they are for real. Their defense was banged up. They baffled that high-flying Detroit offense. Jared Goff threw 2 picks. Probably should have had 2 others picked off as well. The Lions were 1-7 in the red zone. How good are the Bucs?
Bulldog, I got to eat some crow here. Had a listener of our show on Saturday tell me, he goes, your meatheads are going down. The Bucs are better than you think, buddy. And I go, no way are the meatheads going down in Detroit. They went down. He was right. I was wrong. And yes, they are pretty damn good, guys.
Yeah. So the Jaguars not so good. Deshaun Watson and the Browns come to Jacksonville yesterday.
Where did Trevor Bank Field?
Never Bank Field. He'll never be an elite quarterback, okay? Yeah, they were calling it Trevor Bank Field yesterday because of a marketing thing with Everbank, which is the sponsor of the stadium, and Trevor Lawrence looked terrible. He was 14 of 30, 220 yards. He got sacked 5 times. Trevor Lawrence was seen on the sideline arguing with Coach Doug Peterson. Jaguars are 0-2 right now, so not a good scene up in Jacksonville. The Browns just dominated them on the Browns defense dominated the Jaguars offense.
You just said he'll never be elite. Aren't you the same guy 2 weeks ago that said they're going to win the Super Bowl?
He is, Talker. Yeah. That's correct.
I am. It's an overreaction Monday, okay?
I'll give you an overreaction. I hate the Kansas City Chiefs.
Why?
I despise that franchise.
God,
you
man.
despise them even though they won the game yesterday against the Bungles? Huh? Harrison Butker kicks a 51-yard field goal as time expires. Chiefs win 26-25. I'm not sure, but I think Butker dedicated the winning kick to all those housewives and homemakers out there. But yeah, big win for the Chiefs. What about the Saints, huh?
My God.
Just waylay the Cowboys 44-19. Anybody who had Alvin Kamara on their fantasy roster, he scores 4 touchdowns yesterday for the Saints. They just waylay the Cowboys. The Vikings beat the 49ers. Yeah. Sam Darnold getting it done for the Minnesota Vikings. They beat the 49ers 23-17. How about a game ball to my fantasy quarterback, Kyler Murray, getting it done as the Cardinals just rout the Rams 41-10. Murray was unbelievable in that game. Last night's game, the Texans, it was an ugly game. They beat the Bears 19-13. Overreaction, number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. He's a bust.
You think?
He's a bust. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
he hasn't looked good in his first 2 games.
And then the Monday night affair, Battle of the Birds, you got Atlanta and Philly going at it tonight.
Yeah, college football, Gators, they lose to Texas A&M, get routed at home. I'm thinking Billy Napier. I'm hearing rumblings. He's not going to get fired this week. They play Mississippi State on Saturday. They have an open week after Mississippi State before they play UCF. If he's going to get fired, that's when he'll get fired.
So the Gator fans, a lot of them are calling for the athletic director's head as well.
Oh, yeah, Scott Strickland.
Yeah.
Scott Strickland is tied to Billy Napier. Obviously, Scott Strickland also hired Dad Mullen. By the way, the good news for Gator fans, Billy Napier's buyout's only $26 million. Mike Norvell at Florida State, that's $65 million. And Florida State fans are not high on Norvell right now. The Seminoles fall to 0-3 after losing to Memphis on Saturday. But what about UCF getting it done?
Game ball to all of them, man. That's a big comeback win. That's going to work wonders, man. I think, Bulldog.
Absolutely. And man, they just run the football. Just run the football. They are unbelievable on the ground. So good for UCF getting it done. R.J. Harvey, what do you have, 189 yards?
He's just lighting it up, man. Unbelievable. So, good job from them coming behind on the road, too.
So, they were 3 touchdowns, 21 points down. Yeah. It's
incredible. So. All right, well, you certainly have a few things to discuss over there on your show on AM 740 and FM 96.9 A Game, where the Bulldog hosts open mic each morning. He takes a few minutes out of his show to do the sports page here on JRR. It's brought to you by Kaufman and Lind.
That's right. You can listen to Under Oath with attorney Jeff Coppin every Saturday morning, 7:30 on FM 96.9 The Game. Catch extended versions on your favorite streaming platform.
Linton Talk. On demand. Download the iHeartRadio app.
This track